What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be reviewing the Andy Anderson flight decks. Now, between these two, I've been skating them for the past 3.5 to 4 months, and this is my review, my thoughts, my opinions, what I liked, what I didn't like about these boards, and how they compare to a normal popsicle 7-ply maple. So let's get into it. First off, I've never skated a shaped board before. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, shaped boards weren't really a thing. Certainly not a thing that I was aware of. Everybody skated the popsicle 7-ply maple. And so when I came back to skateboarding in my 40s, that's all I was thinking about was skating. Skate what I know is a 7-ply maple popsicle board. What got me on this and what made me even consider this was I started seeing videos of Andy Anderson, and I was just blown away by his creativity, his love for skateboarding. And when I heard he had a signature deck that was unlike anything else, something that he had put his personal time, blood, sweat, and tears into, it got my attention. I loved the graphic. I thought it looked close enough to a popsicle, and for Christmas I just thought, hey, maybe I'll hang it on the wall, so I asked my wife for it. She got it for me for Christmas, along with the grip tape that is designed for this board, and I thought it was cool. I did a setup video for it, I did a kickflip on it, didn't really think anything of it, and then I was just gonna put it on the wall and have it as decoration just because it's like a cool board. Such an iconic looking skateboard that I just thought it'd be cool to have. So how I ended up skating this is I broke a couple boards, and the last one I broke I only had for like 2 weeks, which I was pretty disappointed. It's a $70 board. And so I started looking into flight decks. I got the Zach Doling, which is a traditional popsicle. It's my shape, it's my size, but it's a flight deck. And I started skating that, and I started having an awful time with my flip tricks, specifically my kick flips. So after having trouble with that for an extended period of time, I thought, hey, you know what? I got this deck. It's already set up. I did a setup video for it. It was already had its grip on it. And I thought, let me try to skate this. And once I got acclimated to it, I ended up really liking this board. And I ended up taking off my Zach Doling, and I started skating this one and this one only. Originally, I was going to have my popsicle board and this board as like my flip trick board. And this one just kind of took over because I liked it so much. So I want to go over this board and all my positive thoughts on this board. First off, with the shape, this is a twin tail. It's technically an 8.4 across the wheelbase. And then in the midsection, it's more like an 8.25. The nose and tail are 6.79, and they're identical. The wheelbase, which I normally skate a 14, is a 14.25. But I got used to that, and it didn't seem to really affect me negatively. And the overall length of the skateboard is 32.03, which is a little bit longer. I usually like to skate like something like a 31.75 or something like that. So it's close enough to the size and shape that I like. It's just this shaped board. All right, and the first and most obvious thing that's great about this board is you can't break it. I definitely landed many times in 2 months on the tail on this board. You can't break it. And honestly, for 125 bucks, I mean, I feel like that's definitely worth it, especially if you weigh even more than I do. But the fact that you can't break this board is a good feeling, and it's a definite strength and one of the coolest things about the flight deck technology. The other thing I really like about this board is it's light and it's thin. It's a little bit thinner than your traditional 7-ply maple, and it helps the whole setup. So if you have like a little bit of a heavier setup and you're trying to go lighter, the lightness of this deck will definitely help you with that. The other thing I like about this is the concave on this board. It has nice concave. It's not too mellow. It's not too steep. And it's really good for flip tricks. For me, I had some of the best kick flips of my life on this board and the best 360 flip of my life on this board. It also retains the concave really well. It stays feeling the same stiffness the whole time you skate it, which is really nice. It doesn't go through like feeling mushy or, a significant loss of pop or anything like that, which is great for a board. Honestly, I think the thing that shocked me the most about this board is how quickly I acclimated to it. The fact that it is a shaped board, the fact that I was running graphic grip tape on it, which I never skated and I never wanted to skate, and I thought it would be a distraction. It didn't bother me on this board at all. If anything, maybe it helped me. Maybe that's part of the thing that helped me. I just didn't realize it. But yeah, the fact that how good this board ended up being for me and how much I enjoyed it, how consistent I was on it, how much fun I had skating this board. It was just totally outside of my wheelhouse, something that I would have never expected to like so much, and I really fell in love with this board. All right, and so for the negatives for this board, my big negatives are going to be, unlike my traditional, all the popsicle boards that I've skated just since I started skating last year, for whatever reason, even though this is like a stronger board technically, this thing chips seemingly easier than a standard 7-ply maple. And I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what the issue is with that, because my thought was that epoxy makes it stronger than a water-based glue, but I'm not sure that's the case, because all the boards that I've skated, none of them are chipped up like these two boards that I have. They're both chipped. And initially I thought, maybe it was a fluke with this board. This is the first board I skated for about 2 months, and I just kind of overlooked it. But as you'll see, like, it's pretty chipped up. And I'm not throwing my board or anything. I'm skating this board similar to how I'm skating everything else. This side's really bad. This is like coming apart. I'm not sure if this is inherent to flight decks. And like I said, I originally thought this was a fluke. So that's pretty bad, I would say. I tried to sand them down a little bit, try to keep them from splitting. And the same thing with this one. This is my second one that I skated. Almost in the same spot. This one's coming apart even worse. And this started really affecting like the pop. This is what affected the pop for me. Whenever I would pop a frontside flip off this part, it felt really, this part did get soggy. For the most part, the pop doesn't get soggy, but on this one, the way this started coming apart, it did. The other negative that I have is how bad they razor tail, how quickly they razor tail, and I don't stop. I don't like put my board down to stop like that. I usually just put my foot down. They're thinner, and there's one less ply, I believe. This is just, I really don't like razor tail boards. This would be the other big downside for me. It's how quickly they razor tail. My only other criticism for like not liking it is just for the simple fact that I had it in the back of my mind that I was gonna have trouble acclimating back to a popsicle board, because every time I would try to skate one of my other setups, I would have a hard time with my flip tricks. And I didn't want to get locked into one style of board, a shaped board, and that's all I can skate and that's all I can progress on. And I don't want to do that. Now I understand that that's a personal thing. That probably doesn't happen to everyone, but it happened to me, where I was skating and doing flip tricks so much better on the flight decks, on those hydrant boards, and knowing that I would want to eventually go back to a standard popsicle and try different things and try different shapes and stuff like that. And I didn't want to be locked into one type of board to progress. And that's what I'm learning now, as I'm skating a popsicle board again, this crooked, which I really like, but I'm having to almost like relearn my kickflips on it to get consistent at kickflips again, because I skated those two hydrant decks back to back. It was almost like it was a cheat code, because he has put so much thought into these boards that when you pop right on the center of the tail, it wants to go right up for you. Like if you're doing any type of shove it tricks or anything like that where you don't want the board to flip, you pop right here. You get incredibly stable pop right from the center part right here. And then if you want to flip, like for a 360 flip, for a scoop, or like a frontside flip, it has these parts that just the board wants to flip there because of the way of the angles that he has on the nose and tail. So it really almost felt like a cheat code. And I know it's not, obviously. And I'm only saying this, half serious, but it did almost feel like kind of like a cheat code. And, I want to be able to take whatever progress I have onto any board that I skate, even if it's a little bit outside of what my normal size or length or whatever is. I want to be able to skate it. I think I should be able to skate it. And I think I should be able to progress to the point where I don't get so acclimated to one type of board that it affects everything else in a negative way. I would say if you're at all interested in skating a shaped deck, I'd say this would be a great shaped deck to try out. It is so close to a popsicle that it doesn't take much time to acclimate to this board. And I think all the benefits of it being lighter and stronger and having great concave and stuff like that, I think is all, warrants a try. I think if you are gonna try one, I think this is the one to try. I think this is an awesome board. I may skate it again, but for now I'm going to focus on just being able to skate kind of whatever I have available, or whatever I want to try. And my thing is, I really don't want to be locked into one thing. I'm only good at skating one type of skateboard. I don't want that. I want to be able to skate whatever. Part of it, I think, is mental for me, because anytime I felt like any of the boards that I've had since I started skating again, if I was thinking I was going to have trouble with the trick, I would ultimately have trouble with the trick. So I think that's part of it. Is I started getting so comfortable with this, I started worrying about not being able to skate a normal popsicle deck. And then when I tried to, I did. And I think it was sort of just, it was partly mental for me. And that may not be something that everybody has an issue with, but it is something to keep in mind, because I probably can't be the only one. But that's just my 2 cents. That's my experience with these boards. I think they're really cool. I think they're awesome. I think Andy Anderson's a great skater. I'm happy to support him. And I think this is a great shaped board. If you've never skated one and you're interested, I think this is the one to try. But let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you've skated one of these. Let me know if you had similar issues, similar likes, similar dislikes. Let's talk about it in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinions. I know everybody has different opinions on skateboarding and what they like and what they don't like, but I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and as always, get out, go skate.
Get out, go skate.